In the past few months, no other club has caused as much of a stir as Chelsea Football Club. In today's video, we're gonna show you how Chelsea turned into a mediocrely performing Premier League team and what their project holds for the future. In May 2021, Kai Havertz made Chelsea Football Club climb the European football throne in the Champions League final against Manchester City. For the following Premier League season, Chelsea were just looking for some well-chosen signings to further improve the squads. They paid a record fee of 113 million euros for star striker Romelu Lukaku and an additional 5 million euros for Saúl Ñíguez. Of course, 118 million euros in spending for only two players sounds like a lot, especially considering that both of them flopped, but on the revenue side they were able to register huge earnings after selling the following players. Tammy Abraham for 40 million euros to Roma, Zuma for 35 million euros to West Ham, Tomori for 31.6 million euros to Milan, Zappacosta for 6 million euros to Atalanta, Moses for 5 million euros to Spartak, Bakayoko and Giroud, who both joined Milan for around 3 million euros each, Emerson and Kennedy, who left Chelsea for half million euros to Lyon and Flamengo on loan, and finally Michy Batshuayi, who joined Besiktas for 150,000 euros also on loan. All in all, they earned a total of 124.6 million euros, resulting in a profit of 6.6 million euros, but at the end of the season they only managed to finish as distant third behind the Premier League's top duo Man City and Liverpool. When Russia's war with Ukraine started in February 2022, club owner Roman Abramovich ended up on the EU sanctions list and had to sell Chelsea. The proceeds from the sale were to be used for humanitarian purposes, specifically for war victims in Ukraine, and not to directly or indirectly benefit the club's owner. I am proud that as a result of our joint successes, millions of people will now benefit from the new charitable foundation which is being established. This is the legacy which we have created together. This is what Abramovich said in his statement. In the end, the price tag for the London club is said to have been £4.25 billion. At the end of May, it was a consortium led by US businessman Todd Boehly, who also owns stakes in the Los Angeles Dodgers and Lakers and co-owns the Los Angeles Sparks, that completed the acquisition. Starting with the 22-23 season, Boehly immediately set a new path for the club, as in the summer the new club boss began to open his money bag. For 8 players, they spent an insane amount of 282 million euros. Of course, players like Raheem Sterling are expensive, but transfers such as Marco Kurella, who came from Brighton for 65.3 million euros, were considered heavily overpriced by many. Other deals were Wesley Fofana for 80 million euros from Leicester, Kalidou Koulibaly for 38 million euros from Napoli, Chukwuemeka for 18 million euros from Aston Villa, Aubameyang for 12 million euros from Barcelona, Slonina for around 9 million euros from Chicago Fire, and Dennis Zakaria for 3 million euros from Juve on loan. On the income side, rather smaller fees were registered, such as 20 million euros for Timo Werner, who moved to Leipzig, 15.4 million euros for Emerson, who went to West Ham, around 8 million euros for Billy Gilmore, who joined Brighton, around 8 million loan fee for Lukaku, who joined Inter, 3.5 million euros for Batshuayi, who went to Fenerbahce, 1 million loan fee for Malang Sarr, who joined Monaco, and half million euros for Kennedy's move to Valladolid. After all these transfers, the total income amounted to 56.6 million euros, resulting in a transfer deficit of over 225 million euros. In addition, Boehly's takeover also came with sudden rumblings behind the scenes. The new bosses are said to have made bizarre suggestions to their coach Thomas Tuchel, telling him that he should perhaps play in a 4-4-3 formation in the future. An embarrassing faux pas? Boehly and co denied the reports of The Athletic in any case, and Tuchel did not comment either. But in any case, this could be one of the reasons why they parted ways with Tuchel in mid-September after an unpleasant Champions League defeat at Dinamo Zagreb on the first matchday of the group. At the time, the Blues were 6th in the league table with 10 points from 6 games. Graham Potter, who had done a great job at Brighton until then, was hired as his successor for a record-breaking fee of about 17 million euros. Initially, the change of coach also came to fruition, as Chelsea won their first 3 league games under Potter against Palace, Wolves and Aston Villa, but the short winning streak was followed by 5 games without a win until the World Cup break. First, they drew twice against Brentford and Man United, and then lost their duels against Brighton, Arsenal and Newcastle. After the World Cup, Chelsea continued struggling as their win against Bournemouth on Boxing Day was followed by a draw against Forest, 2 defeats in the FA Cup and League against Man City, another defeat against Fulham and a win against Palace. During the week in early January, when they lost twice to Man City, the fans vehemently demanded Potter's sacking and the return of former coach Thomas Tuchel. More and more hatred on social media was directed towards club owner Todd Boehly, and what does he do to defuse the dicey situation? He opens his wallet again, ending up in a busy January transfer window with some shocking transfers in terms of names and transfer fees. First of all, Premier League record signing Enzo Fernandez for 121 million euros from Benfica. The list goes on with Malo Gusto, who will join in summer but was bought already for 30 million euros from Lyon. Madueke, who joined for 35 million euros from PSV, Mikhailo Mudryk, who came from Shakhtar Donetsk for 70 million euros, Benoit Badiashile bought for 38 million euros from AS Monaco, Brazilian talent André Santos, who was brought in for 12.5 million euros from Vasco da Gama, David Fofana, who joined for 12 million euros from Molde, and Joao Felix, whose loan move from Atletico was completed for 11 million euros. Overall, these transfers bring the total expenditure by Chelsea and their owner Todd Boehly to over 600 million euros in just one season. This sum is unparalleled and represents a new spending record. Until then, it was Barca who held the spending record with 380 million euros in the 17-18 season. But after drawing against Fulham and West Ham, Chelsea are currently ranked 9th in the league with 31 points from 22 games. Pretty disappointing considering the investments they made this season, don't you think? Well, in reality, Chelsea's project is not intended to bring short-term success. With an average age of 22.6 years, the signings they made this season clearly are an investment for the future, and if we're honest, the latter looks bright for Chelsea. And now make sure to drop your thoughts on Chelsea's project in the comments and have a look at our channel for other interesting videos.